Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Hey, is that it over there?
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
Alvin?
Did you remember something?
No, but... I have. This is it. This is the ship. 3 centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and get—
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible—
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. Works for me.
It's funny.
What is?
All this. When we first started this, after all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home.
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renin. The rest of us can barely even pick—
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory. No offense taken. And this is no picnic for me.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renin home— I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us?
The people of Lenegis?
Sure. I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion, and it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then we—
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigned. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Dan. Look, none of us want to fight. but these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegus. And wherever she is, we should find...
That's right. If we can take it back, then Xion can finally get rid of her... Xion? Huh?
Where? Xion? Where'd Xion go? How could... she just go off on her own? Xion. Xion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Xion. But tell me how... how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
Shion, don't lose hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own, and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Only living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen! We can fight this! We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys... You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. For right now, and a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
The end of the world.
How you holding up?
Did you...
Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was...
No?
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me. And I knew I would open in that room with Deadheim. When you called me your friend, it just shattered. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friend. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then... everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die and...
Shion.
But then, I realized... I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying, and I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give... So I'll fight. For Dana, and for myself. I'll fight against my fate, I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and But I swear I'll be there with you. Until the...
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no...
Yeah. I think you may be...
Everyone well rested? Then let's go.
Huh? Why are you
Done.
I'll see you again tomorrow.
I couldn't eat any more if I tried.
That is true happiness.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going...
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our...
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renans finally leave. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shionne's thorns and find a way to save her, all right?
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny...
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so... insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once... Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically...
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shionne? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a ba... We'll be going to Lenegis.
Hey, Alphen!
Is everyone a...
There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this red woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where...
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That's
Forbidden?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, in any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source.
And you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit chant. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time. Possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normal.
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able...
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in,
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down... Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the...
So who's far...
The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Whatever did we do to deserve...
You really have no clue what might...
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior to... We have no choice. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the house? I believed he was on Dan...
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a
As your lordship wishes. First, Lenegis mutates beyond recognition. Now this... The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be...
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to... I descended... I witnessed...
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt.
All red, eh? No.
Well, we've...
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're sovereigns up on the Renin homeworld, and all their lords were set...
But Dohalim was a lord.
Only current acting lords have power. Renin society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif? Cannabelt? Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other...
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renins in their own city, going about their day-to-day life...
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana. which means they should be more inclined to talk.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed. The effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
There...
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was—
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me you've given up on nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord.
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you—
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't—
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings—
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no—
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the—
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no—
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take—
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just—
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill—
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left—
Wow, this place is—
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest.
You think? Man, these Renin sure know how to live it up, don't—
It is something that—
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at Avakir, Faria, and Tarnigan.
Tarnigan. He was the one that Faria mentioned.
He was once my dearest, closest friend. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority, and introduced her to It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for—
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for...
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the and even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I... Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest... But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, but he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of...
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate. As for what happened after...
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now.
Shion's right. What other Lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else? You've saved so many people. You saved me. It's thanks to... So... Try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on...
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows.
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Ho! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
I'll end you!
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade!
Dance in the wind!
Dragon! I'm on a roll now!
An astral dance? Shut him down! This one's all mine! Eat this!
Illuminate the dark!
Take it!
Let me help! Holy
Do it!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Take this!
Here I go!
Win!
It's over! Can't get over!
Those... That enemy looks strong.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Dragon Shell!
Glacial
Rising Wyvern!
Here!
Mirage! Stop!
These ones can run rings around us!
Take this!
Double Demon! This one's all mine! Rising! Mirage!
Now! Lost! Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Illuminate the
Rising
dark!
Wyvern!
Holy
Scoot back!
Stand back.
Holy
I'll trip it up.
This one's mine!
I'm on it!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Here's a healing
Illuminate the dark!
Come forth! Holy glimmer!
Take this!
Inferno
Strike!
Holy
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Holy
Glacial spear!
Here's the evil!
It's over!
Freeze
Mirage!
Swallow dance!
Swallow Blade!
Do it!
Super
Wait,
Take
Crystal
this!
energy!
Rising Wyvern!
Hurricane!
Mirage!
Inferno punch!
Lunar blast!
I'm not done!
Raging cascade!
In a bind?
Sleep now.
Tornado Alpha! Eat this! Armor won't save you!
More where that came from!
Jelly!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Illuminate the dark!
Ignite!
Here, let me help. Not in your dreams!
Talon Arcade! I owe you one. Inferno Punch! Mirage! Swallow Blade! I'm not done!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Mirage! Here I come!
Big blast!
Rising Wyvern!
Illuminate! Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Swallow Blade! Inferno Punch! Strike! Rising Wyvern! Time to cross blade! Can't get out of this! Rising Wyvern! The flame! Swallow Blade! Ignite!
Glacial
Now
Spear.
you see what I can
Here's
watch
evil.
this! Rising Wyvern! I'm on! Mirage! Swallow Blade!
I can handle it.
Denied! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Done! I'll leave it to you!
It's over. Not on my watch.
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning
Here
Blade.
you are.
Flame of Fury.
Swallow Blade.
Lightning
You're
Blade.
mine! You picked the wrong fight!
Illuminate the dark.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Armor won't save you! Take this! Rising Wyvern! I'm on! Here I come! I'm not done! Mirage! Big blast!
Let the mark
Here I come! Rising Wyvern!
I
just
need to
getting
pull
started.
myself together.
Swallow Blade!
Air
Here I
Current
come!
Flame! Revive!
It's over!
Back into the fray!
Slash! Burn! There you are! Super Swallow Dance! Mirage!
Illuminate the dark!
Slash! You're mine! I'm not done!
There! And again!
You're
Hear
mine!
me! Flame of Fury!
You're mine!
Burning Strike!
Mirage! Watch it! Strike! Now you see what I can do!
I'll heal you all! Tempest Whirl!
Mirage!
Here
Force!
goes!
Swallow Blade!
Not in your dreams!
It's time!
Need to
Here I come! You can't get out of this! Mirage! It's on! Burn! First strike! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Never in the grid! Here I come! Strike! Rising Wyvern!
First aid!
Nothing gets by me.
Here goes!
Far enough.
Let the marksman handle this!
Dragon!
In here!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Slash! You're mine! Strike! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Slash! Here I come! Shattering! Eat this! Attack time! Strike! This one's all mine!
Here's the
You
evil!
picked the wrong fight!
I'll heal you all!
Mirage! Now we're never... You're done! You're mine! Take this! Swallow Dance!
Need to pull myself together.
Rising Wyvern!
Flame of Fury! Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Not in your dreams!
Rising Wyvern!
Can't let this creature consume me.
Lightning Blazing Cascade!
Rising Wyvern!
Need to pull myself together.
Rising in support! Swallow Blade! I'm not done!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'm all stocked up!
Rising
Another
One!
It's almost too strong.
Split it open! Be my
I
guest!
never miss!
I'll smash you! Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Eat
this! Swallow Blade! You ready now! Kisara! Commander of Heaven! Phoenix Cyclone!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil! Freeze Lancer!
I can feel my power growing!
No holding back!
Rising Wyvern!
This'll be a piece of cake!
Now you picked the wrong fight! Rising Wyvern! I'll run you through! I won't show you any mercy!
Take this!
Far enough! Rising Wyvern!
Shattering pieces! That freaking does it!
Burn it!
Armor won't save you!
This one's all mine!
Here I go!
Burn! Rising Wyvern! We did it!
Inferno
Strike! Rising Wyvern! You're on!
Thanks so much, guys! Raging Storm! That'll bring you down!
Rising Wyvern!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize. Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Try harder! Rising Wyvern! The flame inside is yours to be let free!
I don't have a handshake.
You're on! Swallow Blade! Strike! Strike!
By the power of
No
water.
further! First strike! Rising
All
Wyvern!
handling.
come to an end!
Swallow
Armor
Blade!
won't save you!
No escape!
Far enough.
You're on! Here I come!
Not in your dreams.
I'm not done! This one's all mine! Mirage!
Raging Storm.
Burn in hell! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! I'm on Swallow Blade! Strike! Rising Wyvern! You're mine! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Slash!
This one's mine.
I need to pull myself
Try
together.
harder!
I'll heal you
Now
all.
you see what I can do!
Rising Wyvern!
Illuminate the
Mirage!
Healing
Swallow Blade! You're mine! Here I come!
There you
Can't get out of this!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Inferno punch!
Swallow Blade! Take this! Swallow Blade!
Not on my watch. Lightning condensed.
Mirage! You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
I can't heal you forever.
Save you!
Is this it?
Don't give up. Thanks. Just what I freeze Lancer. Raging Cascade.
Focus!
Sleep now. I'll be saving this one. Back and cut. More of that.
Take
This
this.
one's mine. Photon Flash.
In a bind?
Wait.
I'll bring you back from death to death. Leave the charges to me.
In here.
Far enough.
More precision. Radiant Light. Lightning Orb.
I don't even know the word defeat.
Photon Flash. Dance in the wind.
Rising Wyvern!
Healing Circle. Radiant Pierce.
Here I go!
Raging Storm. Radiant Pierce. Not in your dreams.
Rising Wyvern!
Astral Energy. Raging Cascade.
The flame see what I can hear to be let free! I'm on! Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Illuminate the
Swallow Blade!
I'm only getting started!
I'll finish you here and now!
Mirage!
Raging Cascade. I'll heal you all.
No further!
Sealed.
Denied.
More
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block!
With this, I can become even stronger.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Freedom down!
This one's mine! They really don't give up, do they?
This one's all mine! There you are! Not today! Rising Wind! Swallow Blade!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Rising Carve through! You're mine!
Talon Hurricane! Freeze Laser! Ready!
Mirage! Swallow Blade! I'm on it!
Demon Beam in your dreams! Back into the fray!
Rising Wyvern!
We're ready to go!
Slash!
Here,
Take
let me
this!
help. First aid!
Mirage!
Heal!
In an instant! Impact Claw!
Illuminate the dark!
The enemy wields ice too.
We'll soon see about that!
Mirage! Super Swallow Dance!
There's always room for improvement.
No holding back!
You can I see one, eh?
Feel!
Swallow Blade!
If you won't bow out now, then you leave me no choice! Here's a I never miss!
Shattering
Pieces!
Attack us!
Armor won't save you!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! You're mine! No escape! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Slash! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Radiant blood!
Rising Wyvern!
Not on my watch!
Burn in hell! We're not finished! Rising Wyvern!
Lightning orb!
Swallow Blade! Rising Wyvern! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Illuminate the dark!
Leave the charge
for
to me!
Back into the fray!
Mirage! Swallow Dance! No further! Be still!
Far enough!
I'm not done! It's time!
Raging can't do it!
Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Be still! Swallow Blade! Escape! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! You're quite the gunslinger.
I have to be, in this world.
Don't worry, I've got your back.
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for. Let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renin, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renins, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else—
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked at—
It was Naori. Naori Imaris.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was—
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the—
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of—
But how is that even possible? Unless...
No.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral for all we know. Perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we...
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all—
Shion, you...
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like, look...
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of reliving painful episodes from your past.
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead—
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renins. But now that we're here, I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford—
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion. Your desire to free and— Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to...
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the...
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of...
We can talk later. Here.
What? I've never known Faria to control Zoogles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a Master Core?
What the... Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handled the Zoogles. Then we get some answers.
Now we'll never
In a bind? What's this?
Rising Viper! Mirage! Swallow Blade! You're finished! Rising Viper! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Rising Viper! Mirage! Take this! I'm not done! Rising Viper!
I'll smash you!
Rising Viper! Mirage! Swallow Blade! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Rising Viper! Mirage! Slash! You're finished! Rising down! Slash!
I never miss!
Frickin' does it!
Rising Viper! Mirage!
Slash! Can't get out of this!
Lightning orb!
You're mine!
Here's a healing art!
Slash! You're finished!
Into the shadows!
Mirage! Swallow Blade! Take this!
Lightning orb! Astral energy!
I can carve through armor!
Eat this! Rising Viper! Mirage! Swallow Blade!
By the power of water!
First strike!
Rising Viper! Mirage!
It's weakened!
Rising Viper! This ends now! Take this! You're finished! Rising Viper!
By the power of water!
No one ever.
Get no further!
Talon Hurricane!
This one's
Bring you down!
Ignite!
Now!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Take it! Go!
Rising Viper! Mirage! Slash!
Come forth! Holy
I can
Glimmer!
carve through. I'm just getting started.
Here comes something big!
Try to dodge!
Eat this.
I'll heal you
Take
all!
this! First, I'm not done! Swallow Blade!
I really owe
Try
you.
harder!
I'm on.
Rising Viper! Mirage!
I'm on it.
Try harder!
I'm all stocked up!
Rising Wyvern!
I have
Mirage!
astral energy!
Swallow Blade!
Go
I'm not done!
Thanks so much! Searing
Rising Wyvern!
Here goes! Flame of fury! Not in your
Stop
dreams.
its charge.
Thanks, Kisara! Here's the evil!
You picked the wrong fight!
Freeze lightning
Can't get out of this.
Photon raging!
Mirage!
Steel!
Anything in armor is all mine.
I never miss!
Armor won't save. I'm just getting
Rising
started.
Wyvern!
Lightning
Mirage!
orb! Take one! Light astral energy! Raging cascade! Inferno! Dance in the wind!
Mirage!
Air! I'm out of ammo! I'm all
Here I
stocked
come!
Annihilation!
Ignite!
Illuminate the
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Glimmer! Holy Lamp!
Strike!
Glacial Spear! Evil! Raging cascade!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Shattering of
Take
pieces.
this!
In here!
I can carve through armor.
Here, let
In a
me help.
bind. Almost there.
Or close enough. Take it away, Law.
I thought you'd never ask.
Glacial
You're
Spear!
mine!
Here's the
Swallow Blade!
It's about to strike!
Inside me! Yours! Look sharp, everyone!
Not in your dreams!
Florida.
Here, let me help. Illuminate the top! Here's a healing
Rising
orb.
Wyvern!
Glimmer! Let the marksman
Not now, not ever! Double Demon Fang!
Photon
Let me help.
I really need
Don't give up! This way. Annihilation! Big flame! Reload! I'll bring you back from depth to depth. Ready and rarely! Now you see what I can watch this! Take this! Not done yet! Rising Wyvern! Stop! Slide! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
It's over! Slide!
You're mine!
I can handle it! Tear you apart! Denied!
I owe you one.
Swallow blade!
Damn it! Out of ammo!
Thrust!
Do it!
Here,
Go
let me
me!
help.
In an instant! Impact block!
Now it's just her! Faria, can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only...
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please.
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved...
In that case...
I'll take her off.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always... As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get...
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened.
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to... And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones.
You're wrong. Kelzalik was the one who killed my brother. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hire... But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I...
You can't atone. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul search, forgiveness, acceptance, those ships...
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. Not for those already passed, but for those still...
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make...
That's what living's all about. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're...
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim. Not for yesterday. And not...
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for...
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shit. What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear?
Yeah, it's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and...
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe...
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I...
So, everything we just saw, those...
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what... No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very...
I've never felt astral energy so powerful.
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renin...
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renins alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of... If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renin astral energy...
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling. Just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana...
But you can't say that for...
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us no...
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, and I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep...
I'm sorry about what I said earlier.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shield. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can... Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone.
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy. That must be the Master Course. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here.
What is it? Did you find some?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the
test subject number 10105? Ethnicity, NA. Volron.
Volron? But he's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only...
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned Sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign? Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that can...
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment result. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen. That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with—
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one act—
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's—
Of course. After 300 years. This is the spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma—
So this is the place where you and Naori—
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman. It's—
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of death?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future—
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power.
lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give—
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then—
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of when I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash. I couldn't go through with, but without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me, but it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives soaked with the destructive force now slumbering inside of me. I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure, especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis. That's what I hoped, but the Renis Alma was lost. And Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted. And for a new Sovereign, even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only—
Wait, you can't just— Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries.
So you're saying this is the Maiden?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because—
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the—
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it—
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori said?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure—
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work—
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril—
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over them.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the—
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah! We can protect the world and save Shion.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow where—
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control. She stopped my rampage and saved my— But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your—
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can—
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always about a life without the touch of my family, or holding hands with Rinwell, Or giving Law a deserved smack. Embracing all the normal things that I always wished I could experience them for myself. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting... What if it doesn't work out in the end?
That's not going to... I'm here to forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do.
Yeah, it's such a strain. I know that we've still... And it's for my sake.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. Until our future is finally in our hands.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be...
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well...
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what's...
Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
All once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself. Reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but Are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alphen, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alfie. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
This one's mine! I'll be saving this one! Lightning condemned!
Armor won't save you! Take this!
Lightning condemned!
Ignite! That can't get out of this!
Can't this
Glacial
Spear!
Blazer!
Leave the charges to me!
All the power of my healing arts to Lightning condemned! Let me show you what my art can do! Rise and shine! Raging Resurrection! Illuminate the dark! Strike! Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
Watch it! Rising Wyvern!
Freeze Lancer!
Yeah! That's freaking done it!
Illuminate
Not today!
Raging Cascades! Healing Field!
Try harder!
I'll be saving this one!
It's on it! Rising Roar!
That'll bring you down!
Soda! Take this!
Raging
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Super Swallow Blade! Swallow Blade!
Illuminate!
Mirage! Slice! Take it! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Eat dirt!
Confiscated!
Rising Wyvern!
Try this on for size!
I'll smash you! I'll finish you here and now! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Inferno Punch! Rising, prepare to be sealed! In a bind?
More where that came
Hold
from!
nothing back!
Ready to go!
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning
Mirage!
Talon
This one's all mine! Burn in hell!
This one's mine!
Try harder! Inferno Punch!
I never miss!
Rising Wyvern!
Radiant
Mirage! Swallow Blade!
Mega Ray!
Take this!
Light Astral Energy!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
In here!
You're mine!
Ready and ready! This one! Annihilation!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
There you are! Here
Take
goes!
this!
Confiscated!
Swallow Blade! Storm! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Take this! I'm on it!
Lightning
Strike! Take on! Eat this! Mirage!
I'm ready!
You're far enough! Rising Wyvern!
Mirage! Swallow blade! Here I come! Strike!
Here goes! I'm going to need
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Burn! Take this!
Holy Land!
Swallow blade! Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Talon Hurricane!
Here I come!
Raise
You
the
escape! The
Where
flame
are you
inside me
going?
is yours to be let
here.
free! Try harder!
I'll be saving you!
You picked the wrong fight!
Now you see what I can. I'm on a roll now.
More where that came.
Double Demon Fang!
Swallow dead.
Prepare to
You're nearly done for.
This should do it!
Inferno punch. Take this.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Radiant
I know I come!
I'm only getting
over!
Will this help?
Mirage!
I felt fine not too long ago.
You escape!
Annihilation!
Slash!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
That freaking
The
does it.
flame inside me
Illuminate
yearns
the
to be
dark!
let free!
Holy Terror!
Rising Wyvern!
Holy
Mirage!
Terror!
Take this!
Anything in armor is all
You're
mine.
finished!
In the wind!
Rising Wyvern!
Air
Swallow
thrust!
blade!
Photon!
From nothing!
Air thrust!
Slash! Here I come!
This one's mine!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Swallow blade!
Prepare to be
Here
comes.
You're finished!
In a bind.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
I don't even know the word defeat.
Rising!
Far enough.
Back into the fray! Here
Try harder!
Watch it.
Raise the
It's
lightning!
Eat
this! Lightning! Field!
Here I come! Swallow blade!
Let me help! Magic is out!
You picked the wrong fight!
Not in your dreams!
You're done.
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Try this on the side.
Swallow blade! Here I come!
I can carve through walls.
I'm not done! It's over! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! It's
All
time!
good things come.
Eat this! Rising Wyvern!
together.
Mirage! Take this! Strike!
Air
Here,
thrust!
let me
Take
help.
this!
Light aspirated!
Ignite!
Dragon shell.
Fierce evil! Flawless
Can't
light!
get out of this.
Radiant!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What? It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Voron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Renna this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
It's too late. We can't stay here.
We need to go. Alphen!
know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of...
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers and Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance.
Whatever's stolen from us, the future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
Bring him down! Far enough! Rising up! I'm going in! Get together! Knock it out! Rising Wyvern! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'm going to need to use all the power of my
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Rising Wyvern!
Mirage! Wind astral energy!
Here I come! Mirage!
Photon, illuminate the sun! How dare you!
Now or never. Can't get out of this.
Nothing gets by me! Lightning condemned!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
A comfortable win.
Sion's all mine! Eat dirt!
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil!
Rising Wyvern!
Brave Blaster!
I'll tear you apart!
Eat dirt! It's over!
Demon
I
Blade!
never miss!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the pummel to me!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
I'll smash you!
Here I come!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Eat this!
Talon Hurricane! Take this! Rising Wyvern! Prepare to be seen! Slap and tear! Rising Wyvern! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Talon Storm! No further!
Now!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'm reaching my limit, you guys.
Damn. Guess we better be extra careful.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion, Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir.
Avakir filled me in about everything.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was.
He told me about Tarnigan, too.
What difference does it make? What's done?
Stop casting me off! Just for...
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, but this time not so much as a peep. Any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things...
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed. Which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from...
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people...
At ease. Like by letting them hear direct... That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone.
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord. And the only one left is... Avakir. You mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldamen and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the...
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even
It's still too premature to say with any certainty. But I believe so.
But... it can't...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria...
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You?
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, but not as your sovereign. Nor as a leader, the likes of which the people here are used to.
But... how else do you...
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, one in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things like... oh, I don't know. Musical talent.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on... Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond men.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Len... I guess can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more questions.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix, too. Like figuring out how to reform...
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this, the answers have to be there. Are we...
So, what do we do?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to fix...
If we come across a capital, we should... What? Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine...
That's bad, right?
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can...
Everyone!
A flower blooming out of...
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all...
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose?
If that's true, do you think the people back...
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost...
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and we're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death.
Law, calm down! You're not the only one.
Right.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out.
Alphen.
Now what?
The starship, it...
No, this is different. Something is pulling...
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question...
We haven't been ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would any...
Hey, Shion!
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
Still can't get over what we saw happening outside.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that.
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own...
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here?
Someone formidable enough to bring our starship along with us.
They must be here somewhere. Let's find them.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden...
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have
It can talk!
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you...
Before I answer, I have a question for you.
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of...
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control.
Oh, goody. More riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
You are on Date Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's great spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this great spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will. A voice.
A voice? Just like Dan.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it without question.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit...
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Vol...
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral... I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegis.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah.
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegis are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy, and the pursuit of that desire is, as a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the... Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating... That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrecht 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second...
A request? But what could someone like you want?
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your
I did. It is in your best interest that...
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be...
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning?
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not...
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of...
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help...
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Do?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renan Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole... That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story...
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the...
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns... How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about...
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevrecht 35 never even brought up the Renans once.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on them. Let's find out. Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so...
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevrecht-35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Ra—
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Faisal with—
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack.
Why are you all even here in the first—
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegus from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire—
And you've been working for Hevrecht-35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us. As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of—
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use— In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they want. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegus is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why are—
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so—
Hevrecht-35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though.
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little—
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegus? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to— Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before—
Thank you for answering our questions. Can we talk to you for a few—
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift. So—
Please, tell us what you know about the Helgan—
You mean the Overseer species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come—
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right—
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the—
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from—
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people—
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of—
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge— In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dan—
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your convention. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies.
Enough! You needn't tell us any.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their way. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from... If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers...
I see. Thanks for filling. Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed?
Dohalim. Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about a spirit channel?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what it's made?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral...
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large... Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert...
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many... For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby...
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role. A new Sovereign had to be made as... It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from...
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral... As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planet...
Hevric 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes. And yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather...
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's...
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign...
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found...
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral...
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helgan... Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over...
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. Why don't we all take some time to think things over, before we decide on...
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, and we've got a real... Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's...
Sounds good. Let's...
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot.
Oh.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a...
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renin. Right now, it's...
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steel. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helgan, it was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from She considered me a Danon, as a real person. And I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to... Maybe...
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff, like everyone's needing to meet halfway, she said that the first step down that path was for each of us. That means forgiving other people. Even and especially...
Forgiving. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to...
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to.
It's not going to be easy getting past this, but if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can... I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too,
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to...
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in... I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your...
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, it's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all... That alone is enough to make it our... But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that... And to hear Shion tell it? It's the same one that she sees from her own...
Indeed. Shion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy. And if Rena's Great Spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Shion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorn...
While the main body resides in Rena.
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's Great Spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then...
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous. Large enough to house the will of an... The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns' connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the great astral spirit this whole... It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Our minds are made up. Let's go give Hevric 35 our answer.